time. If you are anxious, do not be anxious. It's me, Pedro. I'm your buddy from Texas. It is all good. All right, sir?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Yes, sir. It's all good. All right, so here we go. I want to welcome you, Luke Critchley.
Thank you. Great to be here. I'm up for having a chat because I'm trying to speak more on internet, on interviews and things like that. And this is the first time that I've ever spoke to any person I do not know about this. So I'll hopefully enjoy it. Hopefully I can share some info about how I've improved. And hopefully I can help others who are there who are hearing it and are confused and lost and everything. Hopefully, something I say will inspire them in a way. So that is why I'm here. Excited to chat and to find things out about yourself, but also to tell things about me as well.
How cool. I thank you, sir. Um, and so we have some topics to go over. And so let's get started. All right, sir?
Yep.
All right. So do you remember when you first, began to stutter?
Well, I think when I was young as a child, I was in school and I always didn't feel the same as everyone else in the class. And I always found why I couldn't say words or I couldn't say a few words. I'd always block on words. I had fear of words and I didn't really understand everything until there was a point in my life where someone bullied me in the corner of a room and started to say, "Don't you come near me. Don't you speak like that around me." And I didn't know up until then what was because I thought it was normal. I thought everyone else had these issues, and it's only when I graduated from primary school to high school that I started to have issues every day in every way, and then I got the fear of it. I used to get off school. I didn't go in. I pretended to be ill to get around having to present in class. So I'd say the age that I was maybe 8 or 9, but I didn't understand why, and I couldn't understand why. But I couldn't ever express anything. I couldn't ever convey excitement. I couldn't say certain words. So in the end, and for the next 25 years at least, I would be mute. So I would not speak, and this carried on through high school, college. I was unemployed for years because I was scared of speaking. I take the phone, I take the lead out of the phone so I wouldn't have to speak. I'd maybe make 3 to 5 words a day, just gentle hellos, how are you? Yeah, fine. But I'd always turn it on to who I spoke to. So if they said, "How are you, Luke?" I'd say, "I'm fine, how are you?" Quick. I wouldn't ever speak about me. And I had that for 30 years, I'd say. 30 years of never speaking up, never not agreeing with anyone, never speaking about what I wanted, avoiding words, meals, McDonald's, avoiding everything. I avoided words, I avoided sounds, I avoided situations, I avoided people, I avoided everything of life. I would say everything. Avoided jobs, avoided everything relate girls, friends, everything. I avoided everything. This has been the biggest thing I can say has ever been a part of my life. And the worst thing is covert. So I deleted words, I changed words around so people didn't know that I actually had an issue. I didn't go for jobs. I didn't go for interviews. I didn't present anything. My whole life was trying to keep it away from everyone so no one knew because I was that scared of it. I didn't understand it and I didn't want anyone else to know because everyone else was confident. Everyone else could do things. Everyone else could speak. Everyone could convey excitement, could convey if they were feeling down, and I couldn't do anything of that because all of those things need you to speak, and I couldn't do that at all. So the effect it had on my life is unbelievable. And I would say that I do think stammering and suicide are not far off because I was at that point for years and years and years where I was that low, that lost, that confused, and that angry at myself that it would not be far off that. And I mean that feeling of what is the point of anything. So I think the effect it can have on anyone is unbelievable. Even though that isn't not what you've just asked me, I can just talk for days about this. I can talk for days.
I got you, sir.
Um,
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
great. All right, yeah.
so, does it run in your, in your, family? Are there any other, family members who also have a stutter?
Well, I've got my dad, and he's very, very much. I think I've been told that when he was a child, he did it as well. Now, if you speak to him, he would have no idea, or he pretends to not have an idea. Maybe that's an older person who can't understand how to relate to people, show vulnerable side. I don't know, but he said that he had an issue, or I've been told he had an issue. So that's the only person who I know on my side. That's the only one.
See, and, you know, my mom had it, and
Yeah,
so, you know, your dad had it, and my mom had it, and, I mean, it was a whole other, a generation, and so,
yeah,
I mean, hers was just, I mean, it was horrible, and in her teenage, years, she had it. I mean, she had told herself, "I'm tired of this. I'm done
yeah,
with this. I'm d
yeah, yeah,
I'm all done." And her stutter went away. I don't have any answers. I don't know how that happened. I mean, it just happened. It went away. Um, I still have mine. You know,
yeah, 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 yeah,
but I mean, I don't know, as to how she had it and does not have
yeah,
it
yeah,
anymore. So, I mean, um,
yeah, yeah,
in my opinion, we still need a lot of research.
yeah,
I'm in it, but yeah, I mean, uh,
yeah, yeah.
it was interesting. uh, After she had told me, it's like, I mean, like, uh, it's like, okay, wow, I still have mine, but yeah, it's all good. Um, okay, now, um, have you ever had speech therapy in school? And if you did, was it helpful?
Right, I'd say that when I was young, maybe 3 to 5, I think I had it then, and I think it's maybe my mum thought it was just a child thing, which may have been at the time, but mine just got worse and worse. But because I was mute, I didn't speak to anyone, so my parents thought I was absolutely fine. I was a quiet boy. I had therapy then, and then I had speech therapy when I was about 29 ish. And it's the same thing where I think if you have it in a room with someone who understands that you're going to take your time, you're not going to be able to say certain words. It was really good, really good. And I could recite words, sentences, everything. But I think when you go out into the real world, and you've got time constraints, you've not got time to screw up. I know people say that, but if you're in work and someone says, "Right, can you do this?" you have to explain it or try to explain it. So I think it works, but I think if you go into the world and you have to be quick and answer things, I think it's hard then. But I think it's good, but I think there's better ways to improve. I'll say that for me anyway. I know people aren't the same. I get that people find things hard. I get people challenged with things. They might find it good, and I praise them, respect them, and everything. But for me, it didn't work a lot, I don't think, in the real world. But in the room, I could speak loads because she understood me. She allowed me to screw up. She allowed me to try again and again. So it was good in there, but I think in the real world, I didn't. It didn't go too well for me. I don't think, and I've got reasons behind that why I feel it is, but Yeah, I think it's good, but maybe like other ways you can improve. I think, and I've done that now with which I'll tell you about soon as well.
So do you have any advice?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Target it, to your parents and to your
Yep.
teachers and to your
Yeah.
speech, a therapist, in regards to your stammer.
Right. Advice that I would give them, or yeah, all right then. What I would do is, I think it's hard though because for me, I improved a lot by going to groups and public speaking. Just going there every single time and doing a speech or a role as much as I could. Now, I think all kids should have the chance to do those groups, but I think when I was young, if you'd have said, right, Luke, get up there and speak about your holiday, say 300 words to 200 in the room, I would have run a mile. I would have run a mile. So advice, I think advice would always Advice depends on who you're handing advice to, I think, because if you've got someone who's 8 who's terrified of speaking, if you tell them my advice, it's the worst thing in the world. But I don't know what I would say actually because I think it's a hard one because if you're dealing with kids, you've got to create a softer approach. Now, how do you do that? So, what I would say if you're 25 is get in groups, go in groups all the time because groups are they're a place you can improve because people are there to not judge you, they're not going to laugh, they're not going to mock, and you can find things out about yourself. So, if you've got a child who is up for improving, I would say there's a lot you can actually do. People focus, I think, on speech too much about this, and I don't feel it's about speech as much. I think it's about being able to speak the way you'd like to speak. Now, how do you speak like that? How do you get to that point when you don't know how to speak, or you don't even know how you'd like to speak? So that's where I think you've got to try things out, and you go to groups and you try a lot of ways of how to do things. I'd love more than anything else in the world to work with a child more than anything else in the world. I don't need to be paid to do this. I want to help people who are confused and lost and terrified. I used to cry at home on my bed for years because I hated it. I think I've got little tricks you can do to improve things. Because I think when you improve how you feel in conversations, improve how you feel standing up in front of a crowd, improve how you feel normal everything normal life. And I think I've improved by doing those things over and over and over again. I do think that. I think people make it out to be a speech thing and I don't feel it is. I think there's other reasons behind why you're speaking that way, or why I was anyway.
See, and I mean, um um, you make excellent, points. I mean, those are awesome. Here is how I would do it, because as you know, we are all different. Um,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
and so here is what I would tell parents. Um, d- d- s- and so parents, I want for you to give us time and space. I do not want to hear just slow down or
Yeah,
take
yeah,
a
yeah.
breath. I don't.
Agree.
Yes, I don't need to hear that. All that I
Yeah,
want is time and space. If I need help, I will reach out, but I
yeah, yeah.
need time and space. And for teachers, to all those who are hearing us on this podcast, you know, from all over the world, to
Yeah.
all of you teachers, please do not make us stand up and either read, answer a question. Um, as a person who has a stutter, I did that. I mean, it only happened one time, Luke, one time, but
Yeah, yeah,
it's all that it took.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, it was the worst day of
Oh,
my entire life. I got up, I couldn't say anything. I
yeah,
sputtered,
yeah,
you know,
yeah, yeah.
I paused, I repeated. It was horrible, and everyone had pointed at me and laughed
Yes.
and called me a porky pig. And so
I can still go back to now when I was maybe 12, and I can take you back to the desk I was at, where I was sat, and it was a Cosby show. I had a speech off, I forget the class, but it was going round the class, and you know that fear, that it's not even fear, it's panic. I'm going, and you work out how many lines are going to be read, and how many, what am I going to have to read, and you start seeing all the words that you can't say, and you think, oh my god, I can't do this, and I had to read maybe 10 lines, and it was terrible. The whole class were in fits of laughter, and I didn't get asked to get again to read out in school because of that. And I can take you back to the desk right now. I can take you back there, and I can tell you where I was sat. So that feel is traumatic, and I agree on that. It's terrible, terrible state for a child or a person to actually be in. I think it's awful. I do.
yeah. S
It's terrible, and you don't ever hear of that on the news. You don't ever see that because it's that rare. But it's traumatic. It really is. It is.
yes,
So I can understand when people say like PTSD
yeah.
and there's things like that. I can think, yeah, yeah, it's right. That right.
Yeah, and so here is how I handled it. Um, s and so every time that I had to read out loud, I would raise my hand and go to the restroom. And
Yes,
Luke, when I tell you, I spent the bulk of my school time
yes,
in a grade 1 all the way to grade 12 in the
yeah, yeah,
boys' restroom stall.
yes,
I also
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I also did it in college. I
yeah,
did it in college, and then I also when I had a job, y and we had to go and give, presentations, I would, excuse myself and go to the men's restroom in a corporate world, and so, yeah, I mean, yeah, so, I mean, I still have it in my head.
yeah,
I wanna tell all teachers, just ask. Just I mean,
yeah,
because
yeah,
um, because it is important to have a conversation with your teacher. Here is what I have. Here is what I am able to do at this moment in time. And that's all. And that's all. And then also, here is my advice, you know, uh, to all of the speech, therapists. Now, when I had speech therapy in 1975, all that I heard is that Pedro, I'm going to have you talk like everybody else. And so in my head, I thought, I'm broken. I'm broken.
yeah,
So here is a person who's going to fix me, who's going to fix me.
yeah, yeah, yes,
So here is what I want to tell everybody, all speech therapists. Um, how I talk is how I talk. It is. And I would have appreciated the mental health aspect. Here is how to handle the bullies. Here is how to handle the stress. Here is how to handle the darkness, because ooh, there is darkness. Believe me.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yes, and so Now, in 2024, I am happy to hear in that in speech therapy, um, they are taking a what's it called? The holistic, approach. They handle
Yeah.
everything. Um, they help you in your speech, and they help you in your mental health. Because good lord, when I mean, I should have had that in the
Mm.
'80s because it was
Yeah.
rough. It was rough. I mean, I don't have to tell you, Luke. It's rough.
No, no, no,
Yeah, it's rough.
it's rough. Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. It was horrendous. I couldn't. I can't ever understand that when I was young, I was just low all the time. Low as in, not just feeling a bit sad, really low for 10, 20 years. And that has to have an effect on a person. I do think it has to have an effect on a person because you are beyond low. You just sadness all the time. It's a massive impact on a person, I
Oh,
think.
it's huge.
Massive.
Yes, sir.
I could talk all day about the actual effect I think it is. I could talk all day because I think it's massive. It's massive, but it's that small or rare-ish that people don't speak about it. The impact it has on you is awful. It's awful.
Oh, yes, sir. And so I want to jump ahead and talk about jobs. Now, I
Yeah,
had heard you previously. You had you had a lot of issues,
yeah.
as we all do, in jobs. How did you handle you know job interviews?
Uh, I would just recite everything I was gonna say, and I'd delete the words I couldn't say. So when I was asked things, I'd not speak a lot. When I was asked things, I'd rehearse everything, cover my mouth at times if it was a word which I couldn't start with. I'd delete words. I'd just say the minimal kind of thing. So for me, I was unemployed for years because I was fearful of. It was all speech. This I was unemployed. I had about 25 jobs. I'd go into work for a day, see a phone on the desk, take the lead out. Then I'd have to speak to people, so I'd have to leave. So I'd have 25 jobs that consisted of a day. I'd go in the next one, go in the next one. It was terrible. So interviews, I would say I got by, but I never ever thought like I was being me. I was always trying to hide something all the time. If I was awake, I was hiding the thing. It's terrible, terrible. So interviews, I got by. Jobs have been a massive issue for me, I'd say. I'm at the same place now for years, which is good. But before that, terrible, terrible. I do a day's work and leave, half an hour's work and leave, go to a next job. So massive. The impact it's had on that is huge. But interviews generally all right 'cause I got by.
How did you handle, a COVID? Because in March
Oh,
of 2020,
yeah,
the entire world shut down, and so
yeah,
in my job, I was very fortunate.
yeah,
They gave me a headset and webcam, and told me from here on out I will be doing everything on Zoom or Teams,
yeah.
da da da. And as a person who has a stutter, ooh, Luke, I don't have to tell you, Luke. I was freaking out. I was like, I don't
Uh,
know if I can do this. And
yeah,
if I cannot, am I gonna lose my job? Because
yeah,
I got bills, A-
yeah.
so um, so how did you handle in a COVID if you had to do the headset, you know, and
Right.
a webcam as a part of your job?
Right. Okay. Well, so for meetings in work, I'd be on Teams and everything. So I'd only have two meetings a week because my job was very. I got by emailing because everyone knew that I didn't speak. So I did 2 meetings every week. I didn't have to speak a lot on them. It was just yes, three or four words, and I could get by on that. How anxious I felt was unbelievable. But in that time when I was doing the Teams calls, there were certain things I did to try to improve this. For about 12, 15 years, I've been trying to improve this. So every single day, I've been trying to do a certain thing which I think will improve me. So I was on the Teams calls, and the camera has all the faces on it. So I was doing a technique where it was eye contact, but it's not turning away. So I keep my eye all the time. But I didn't ever feel as though I was being me because my eye contact was so strong and so big that I couldn't get my words out. It was like that. So I hated it. So I was at home on my own for 3 years, as everyone else was. And I thought, right, how could I maybe improve this so I can go on a call in work and I can say what I need to actually say, as opposed to just choosing the words that I can say, maybe saying I don't know how to answer that and getting away with it, or just blagging it, which is what I did. I got by all the time. But COVID came and I was not in a great place at all. Can I speak about this whole thing, or do you need me to wait? Stop.
No, we will get to
Carry on.
that.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So yeah,
y- g-
go on.
no, and so I mean, because I mean, teams, and I mean, and um, I mean, I know it's important for eye contact. I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, Luke, there are days where I mean, I have a block or I have
Yeah.
a repetition. I'll get it out.
Yeah.
I'll get it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but I see the other people on teams that they're looking up, they're looking down, they're looking
Yeah.
here,
Yeah. Yeah.
looking where it's like, but in my head, it's okay. I just have a block. I just have a repetition. And then I tell everybody that if I'm having a block, it is not your internet connection.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is
It's
not
all me.
the Wi-Fi. It's Pedro.
Yes. Yes.
All that I want, all that I need is I just need a little patience and a little grace. I'll get over it. I'll get over it.
Yep.
But I have to educate everybody because I mean, I may have 20 people on, I may have 50 people. I mean, but I had to tell everybody, look, this is what I have. This is what you're going to hear. This is what you're going to see. And it is not your internet connection. It's just Pedro. All I want is just a little bit of grace and all of your patience. So yeah. Oh yeah. I know it's hard. It's, and so okay, I want to also hit this hot issue. How did you handle with having a mask and having a stammer? How did you deal with that?
Just hide it all the time. Hide it by deleting words, not speaking to people. Soon as I open my eyes every morning, I felt tense, angry all the time. So how did I cope? I didn't go to things. I didn't put myself forward for things. I didn't speak up. I didn't speak to anyone in work. I didn't use the phone. It was just hiding it all the time. Hide it, hide it, hide it. No one can find out this. I didn't tell my parents until I was 30 that I had an issue, even though they've known me all that time because I was that skilled at hiding it. That skilled. I was a master at it. A master.
See, and I mean, um,
Alcohol I used as well.
s-
Things like that I used. Yeah, yeah.
okay, now I want I want to ask you about that because I mean, s- s- I mean, so I can only talk for Pedro, only for me. So
Yeah.
so if I have only 2 drinks,
Yeah.
um, I don't have a stutter. I don't. I mean, every single word, it comes out. Every single word. And and I've spoken, to people all over the world who have a stutter, and half it goes away, and half it makes it will make it
Yeah,
worse. Um,
yeah.
how did it have an impact on you?
Mine, mate. So if I drank some pints, because English people call it pints, my speech would be horrendous. So what I did was I drank so much that no one would expect me to actually talk. So I was just slumped in a corner, so drunk that no one would speak to me. They'd just point and laugh. So yeah, again, it was just a way of hiding it. So um, I took drugs when I was younger, recreational, again, just to hide this speech thing because I hated it that much. So how I handled it was hiding it. I would say that, and I was a master at it. A master.
See, and I mean, um, you talk about, hiding it and doing this and
Yeah,
that. Uh, 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 I have a tool belt, okay, and so I have in it a bunch of tips and tricks, and I may also have a crutch in there. I may have a couple of accents. Okay, now
yeah,
I
yeah.
will not do a British accent because I have been emailed that is horrible cockneyed email. And just and so, I don't want to offend anybody. However, I have I mean, I can pull anything out of
Yeah, yeah,
my, a tool belt to help out. I mean, if I'm having a block, if I'm having a repetition, I mean, I used everything, Luke. I mean, when I tell you, I mean, I had everything in my a tool belt to help me out. I mean, I used it. I used it be- because I had to survive. I did,
yeah, yeah,
because I
yeah,
have to pay bills, I have to eat, and believe me, when I tell you I use accents and people would like, "But you're from Texas. How can you
yeah,
have a British accent?" And it's like, "Look, I do what I do because Pedro gotta
yeah,
eat, and Pedro gotta work, and Pedro gotta do this." And so, I mean, oh, and what I tell everybody, at the end of our day, we are exhausted. We are completely all drained, all physically and mentally, because we have to work 100 times harder than
yeah,
everybody else. Be-
yeah,
because of our stutter, our stammer. We have to do in our head what I call the mental gymnastics, where I know every single word that is heading out. However, I know there are a handful in which I have a hard time. So as I'm still talking to you, I see all the words.
yeah,
I have them
yeah.
switched as I'm still talking to you,
Yes.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
it is, I mean, Luke, I don't have to tell you, it is draining, it is
yeah,
exhausting. At the end of the
yeah,
day, I don't have energy for nothing,
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
mean, I'm zilch. So, I mean, but but I gotta do what I gotta do because it's
Mhm.
called survival. And now I am
Yeah.
I am, I'm at the age where it's all good. I don't care anymore. I have a stutter, and that's it. It doesn't define who I am. It's just what I have. And so if I have a block, ooh, you best believe I will be coming out of that block. It, it may take me a minute or 2 minutes or 10 minutes, but guess what? Pedro is awesome. he has a stutter, but he will get out of the block. And so it's like, yeah, this is me.
Good
This is
attitude.
me.
Yeah,
And so now,
great.
Luke, I want to ask you a hot topic question because I ask everybody on my podcast from all over the world. And so all of the answers are split right down the middle, but I just got to ask you because I'm curious.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
here is the hot topic. So I got to hold it up because it's hot. Hold on. All right. So Luke, all right. So do you let others help you finish your sentences? Dun dun dun.
Um, I've experienced that in the past, but I think because I kept it that hidden and I only said 3 or 4 words, that they didn't have to do that. So I didn't put myself into that actual situation a lot. If someone were to help me, I just understand that they don't understand this, and they don't understand that that isn't a great thing for them to do. But they could just be trying to help me. But yeah, I have had that in the past, and it made me feel worse because it was like I need someone else to say what I need to say, and that made me feel worse. So in the end, it made me feel worse. So I didn't put myself into that ever again. So how do I do that? Just hide all the time. Hide it. Don't say stuff. If you don't speak, no one knows.
I mean, oof. I mean, it I had it 100% of the time, the old Pedro. And now
Yeah,
it's like, I don't even care now. If I get hung up, if you know what I'm trying to say, be
you say it.
I mean, you help. I mean, I don't really I'm old, Luke. I'm tired. I'm old. I don't want to pass out anymore. If you know what I'm trying to say, help out Pedro. Cause I mean, I truly believe that the teamwork makes the dream work. And that is what I believe. So it's all good. Okay, now, so
Yeah,
here
yeah.
is another hot topic, Luke. Has anyone
You know,
asked you, have you had forgotten your name? If they ask you, what is your name? And then you have a block, like a long block. And then they ask you that horrible question, did you forget your name? Has it ever happened to you? And if it has, how did you respond?
Um, I'm trying to think of the times when I'd have to say my actual name, and I've always found my name hard, Luke Critchley. I can say it now, but in the past, I'd cover my mouth through Critchley, and they'd not actually in. Sometimes it will be just an uneasy thing where the right, right, okay, okay, I'll find out your name, so they go and speak to someone else. But yeah, I'd put my hand over my mouth if I couldn't say Luke, it'd be Luke. Critchley was always a bad word for me. I could say Luke at times, but Critchley, I couldn't say that. I could not say it because it was always Critchley. It's like that. Now I can. At the moment I can. Um, but yeah, names, as people who stammer know, names are a massive thing because you can't get away with saying something else. You have to say the exact thing, and you know that you've been playing that in your head for years and telling yourself, "I can't say it, I can't say it, I can't say it." Soon as someone says, can I just have your name, please?" Bang, panic, dread, panic straight, adrenaline. It's horrible, horrible feeling. So yes, I have had that on my name, and I'd get away with it by just hiding it again. Hide all the time. Hide by using your hand, hide by dropping your voice solo, hide by splitting up the words a few times, like ook, chili. Just split up words, get away with it. But that kind of thing, having to say my name, was something that followed me for years, and I deleted any situations in life where I might have to say my name. Going to a bar, ordering drinks, horrendous, horrendous. So saying my name has been a big thing for me, and I've improved on that now. But I think it's a big thing, and we know why, because you can't get away with saying something else. Because if you say like who's your team, you can change that about, or who's your friends. You've got a few friends, you can change names. Even friends' names, I was awful at. So yeah, I understand all that, and it's took up a large part of my life, I'd say.
I mean, Luke, I am right there with you. 2 P's, Luke. 2 P's. I mean,
Everyone is though. Everyone, I'd be shocked if you found someone who stammered,
yeah.
who said, "I've not had an issue on my name." I think why? Because there's loads of reasons why. Because you can't get away from it. You have to answer there and then. You know what I mean. You've got to say things. So if you've stammered and you found your name easy, I would question if you stammered. I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
See,
But yeah, it's terrible.
see, and how it came out, Luke, I kid you not, Luke, I kid you not. It would come out in the sound of a kiss. Pedro, and yeah. And so I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
have
Good
people,
tactic.
yes,
Good tactic. Yeah.
and so I would have people they, "Are you kissing me?" "No, no, 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 sir, no."
Trying to say my name.
I'm just trying to say my name, and so it took me half a year, Luke, half a year, half a
Yeah.
year. What I did, because as we are all different, but how I handled it, I spoke to a mirror every day for half a year. I practiced my whole name, Pedro Pena, every single day. In the morning, in the evening, I practiced for half a year, and every coach will tell you, if you want to improve on anything, you need to practice. Practice.
Repetition.
I am
Yeah, yeah.
I am not in it for perfection. I do not believe in perfection. I
No, no.
believe in I will improve, and
Yeah,
so I'm going to make, a progress. And so
yeah.
now I get asked my name, it rolls off the tongue. I'm Pedro Pena. Hi, good morning. I'm Pedro Pena. Hey, how's it going? I'm Pedro Pena. So yeah, so I mean, it just rolls off. But I mean, it's what I had to do. So
No, good. Good.
okay, now Luke. So here is a very serious question. I ask everyone on my podcast. All of the answers are split right down the middle. I respect everyone's answer. So I want to ask you this, Luke Critchley. So do you consider stuttering as a disability?
Oh. Don't know because how I've improved, it's took me a long, long time this, but I've improved by me doing things. So disability would mean that maybe that you've not got control of how it's going to go or how you can improve it. I don't know. I'd say yes, but I do think how I've improved, I've done those things. I mean, it's odd because if you hear that word, I always think of like a wheelchair, disabled, but it's a speech thing. So I'm mindful of not saying things because I don't want people to be upset with what I say. But I'd say no on that front. I'd say no, it's not. But I've got reasons why I say that. But I will also say it isn't a good thing at all. But I don't think it is. I don't think it is. But I've got reasons as well. I've got reasons why I don't think it is.
Okay, sir, I gotcha.
But I also think that other people will think it is, and I'm not having a go at them. I'm not calling them.
Okay,
I'm not agreeing with them. I understand that, but I just think for me, I don't think it is.
okay, sir, I gotcha. Thank you very much. Okay, now, and so growing up, had you ever thought that your your stammer might hinder your a career?
Yeah, yeah, 100%. 100%. Because I was unemployed. I had 25 jobs. Even now, but I'm not someone who. I mean, there's other reasons why it is this, but I'm not someone who's like career minded as such. I just would like a job that I can go to every day, and I come home and spend time with my son because that's more important. I've not got career minded now. In previous years, it would have held me back unbelievably because I didn't use a phone in work. I didn't speak to people in work. I didn't do anything about that. So, how my career did improve if I didn't speak, I've no idea. But I've also got to a stage now where it's like I prefer to come home and spend time with my son because that's more important to me. I'm not career minded. I'm not. I'd be stuffed if I were career minded because I think you've wasted 25 years. Not wasted, but you spent 25 years not speaking, not going on phones. So how's it not had an impact on that? But I'm also at a stage now where it's like I just would like a job, and I've got a job, and I value spending time with my son and my wife more than a career. But there's other reasons why that is. I'm having estrangement at the moment from from my mum and dad because my dad had a serious career job as I was young, and I don't think the impact it had on our house was good. So I've always been scared of working. There's a ergophobia is the name, and I have had that. I've had it because I'm scared of a career is that frightening for me. So has it had an impact on my career? Yes. Is that important to me? No.
Thank you for that, sir. Okay, now, and so I wanna switch gears a little bit. I wanna talk about, dating, 'cause, as you know, I mean, if you are a person that has a stammer, it's a little bit more difficult how you
Uh,
navigate a dating. So, how did you handle it with having a stammer?
I did not get involved in it. I didn't get involved. I had a girlfriend when I was 16, and then I didn't really get involved with girls till I was 26 because of these speech issues. So I didn't have any girl in involvement at all. My issue was that I just drank loads and I went out with my mates all the time. But I think there's a point where you do have to date and stuff like that. I'm just glad that I got with a girl who was understanding, extremely understanding, and she knew there was something there. But again, I was still in the deleting, hiding, covert world of, and she didn't even know either. But I didn't say words. I didn't say words. I deleted words. I was that skilled at hiding this that even she did not know until I told her and my parents and everything like that. So the impact it had on to date is big. It stopped me from even trying. It stopped me from trying. Stopped me from being involved in that world. Um, until the point where don't know what the point was where I kind of changed. I think it was meeting my girlfriend, I think. And I knew she was not forgiving, she was understanding. But I also reached a point in my life where I'd hit every wall and I couldn't find a way forward. So I had to just tell people. Yeah, I'd hit a bad wall and I tried loads of things. I tried loads of things. But the impact it's had on me dating is huge, I'd say. It stopped me from getting involved completely for till I was 26. 100% fear all the time.
See, and here is what I tell everybody. There is somebody out there for you. This whole
100%.
yes,
100%.
this whole earth, there are 7 billion people on this
Yeah, yeah.
planet.
Yeah.
And there is one person, maybe 2, but there's one person who is out there for you. And here's what I
Yes.
tell everybody. I mean, do not put so much, pressure on you and stress. It'll happen when it happens. And when it happens, you hold on to that person. You hold
Yeah,
on to
yeah,
that
yeah.
person.
I agree with
There are a
you.
lot of people out there, Luke. I don't have to tell you. I mean, if they hear you have a block or repetition, they'll just get up and walk away. We don't need those people.
Or
We don't.
yeah, laugh at you or mock you.
Yes, and we don't need
Plenty will,
yes,
but
we
none we don't.
we don't need any of those because we know
No.
that we're hashtag awesome. And so when, not if, when you find that special person and you have it
Yeah,
and I have it and they love you for you, they don't care that you have a stammer, a stutter. They love you for you. You hold on to that person and it is all good. It is all good. So I am happy
yeah.
for you, sir. I'm happy for you. Rock on, rock
I'm
on.
yeah. But I can understand why it has an impact on people's lives. I do agree that people are out there, but I understand why people don't get involved with it because it's reminding you all the time. You don't feel as good as anyone. I didn't feel up to the mark of anyone. The only people I could speak to were children and dogs. In a weird way, adults, I didn't. So when people say, "Oh, I can't date because my speech," I understand. I 100% understand. It isn't easy.
However, we're hashtag awesome, and there is a person out there for everybody, for everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Take it
yeah,
from, take it from me. Woo, I was single until 25. I mean,
yeah,
because a nobody had wanted to hang around the person who stuttered and sputtered and
yeah,
spit and did all that. But yeah, but no, I got someone, and so I am happy that you also have someone because it's all good. It's all
yeah,
good.
yes, yes.
Okay, now Luke, I want to talk about all of this. What I call home technology. You have Siri, you have Alexa, and then you have a Google Home.
Yeah.
Do you do do you think that all this new technology is helpful or hurtful for people who have a stutter?
Um, I think Alexa, if you're saying, "Can you put a song on?" and you can't say the actual word of song, it's not good. It's not good. I don't know actually. I don't know if it's good or bad. I'd say it may be bad because it's a reminder of how you can't speak yet. But you also have to understand that the world is moving along. But I think you could also practice with Alexa, like practice saying words because no one's around. It's a risk-free place to start to practice to say words. So I think maybe I'd say yeah, it's a good practice place for people who stammer, who can't speak easily and things like that to practice at home on your day. You can speak to a voice who will never know you or see you. And it's good practice, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
I'd
yes,
say
sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, I have a huge issue as to where they don't give you enough, a time,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
to respond. However,
Yeah,
um, I have, I have, been a part of a two a research studies, and they are in the process of creating an algorithm to help us out if you use Siri or Google or Alexa. And so, yeah,
yeah.
it's all good.
All right.
It's all
Good.
good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good. Good.
All right, sir. So here is another. It's a deep question. I ask everybody. I respect everyone's answers because you know what? We, we are all different. However, we
Yep.
are all here to help each other and support each other. So,
Yeah.
so here we go, Luke.
Yes.
So, do you think that it is okay to stutter, or is it important to keep chasing the fluency gods?
Right. Okay. So fluency isn't a way that I've improved, I would say. Self expression is how I've improved. So is it good to hide it? Absolutely not. But should you chase fluency? I got more fluent, but I didn't feel good. I still didn't feel good. So I think you've got to change the way you feel. Is my main point on this. So are you asking if it's worthwhile to hide it or to keep chasing?
Well, I speak to a lot of people from
Yeah,
from all over the world, and so
yeah,
each of our journeys, are different. I can
yeah,
y- I can only sp- you know speak on my journey where I feel it is okay to stutter. It is okay. However, there are other people all over the world who want to get rid of it
yeah, 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 yeah,
by
yeah,
whatever means, by
yeah,
a medical device or
yeah, yeah,
medication or da 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 da. But here is what I tell everybody: however that you want to handle it, however whatever is your goal, um, I, I respect that
yeah,
because we each have our own, you know, uh, journeys. I have mine. It is okay to stutter. However, if you are a person who has a stutter, who doesn't want it anymore and want to do a medical device or medication or whatever,
yeah,
you go do that. Um,
yeah, yeah.
I will be behind you 100%. I support you in however that you want to have it handled.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I'm just thinking back to now the years that I hit it and how I felt, and it was horrendous. If you like to chase fluency, I don't think you reach there by trying to chase that. I don't think. I think there's other ways to improve, and your speech just improves as a result of that. So yeah, yeah, fluency. I would not have that as as a target or a dream. But don't hide it. Don't hide it. People will improve if they've got the balls to actually show off the fact that they stammer. The more you hide things, the worse it is. I would say that.
I got you, sir. Thank you very much. And so, what has your stammer taught you?
Um, well, I think if you stammer, I think you've got a lot of empathy. I'd say for people who struggle in life, for people who find things hard. So I'd say that empathy, understanding, compassion for like other people. Um, yeah, empathy. I would say. What else has it shown me? It shown me that I can work hard at something that I feel is important. I think uh, empathy, working hard, being there for people who struggle at things or people who find things hard, understanding. So I think, yeah, I think people who stammer understand empathy quite well, I think. And I've got that, I think. I do have that. But how it's improved me, I don't know because it's been that slow all the years that I've been trying to improve. But I think it makes you, if you get to a point where you feel good about things, you will never ever turn down the chance to help anyone. And if I can help anyone, I don't need to be paid for it. I don't need to be paid a penny. I will help anyone In the night, I'll get up, I'll get on my phone, I'll come and see you. I think that shown me go and help people is a big thing.
How cool. That is awesome, Luke. Okay, now here is a very emotional question. Woo, so you may have to have some tissue nearby, Luke. All right. So what advice, would you give to your a younger self?
uh, I'd say join speaking groups and go big. So I worked with John in COVID, John Harrison, and he kept saying to me, go big, speak louder, show be the main person in the room. And I was terrified at that. But I would say to that person, I'd say speak to someone who knows how you feel and knows how you need to improve. Apply things every day, because I spent years reading Amazon books, going online, finding things out. None of it actually improved me. So I would say, right, if you'd like to improve now, here's what you do. You join loads of speaking groups, you speak as much as you can, you change the way that you speak. So I spoke very quiet, very flat, broken. Speak 3 times as loud as that. Start to feel how that feels. That will change how you feel as a person. And then get speaking groups. Start to learn what is acceptable and what is not acceptable, and start to enjoy things and start to learn how to enjoy the way you speak, I would say. Because I've spent now years and years of banging walls in my head, of not getting anywhere, keep going wrong, crying, desperate, and there are ways out of this.
Woo, all right. Thank you, Luke. Okay, now you have sp- spoken a couple of times on John Harrison and how he helped you. So, who
Yes.
is John Harrison and how did he specifically help you?
Right, okay. So John was a guy who stammered until 30s, I think, and he moved away and did a lot of things to improve how he felt and then improved how he spoke. So I was in COVID and I was on my own all day, and I felt at that point that I'd tried everything again. I didn't have an option. I hated the way I felt. I hated the fact that I couldn't say certain words. I didn't speak to anyone. So I thought, right, how can I improve this? And for some reason, I thought of John, and John's the guy who wrote an 800-page book about this. Years ago, I read 10, 12 years earlier, and he charged to speak to him on Skype and just to learn things and try to understand his approach. So I thought, right, I'll email John and I'll just see if he's still A, alive, B, if he's up for helping me, and see how much he was going to charge. Was alive, he was up for helping me, and he's not going to charge me anything. The only problem is that he's 9 hours ahead of me. So if I speak to him on Skype, I'd have to do it at 10 at night. Not an issue. I spoke to him every single day. He told me to try things. He told me to go to groups. He told me to notice how I feel in situations. He asked me to notice how other people felt in situations, but ultimately to start to change the way you speak and to start to put the spotlight on you more, which was completely alien to anything I'd ever heard. Anything I'd ever tried, anything I'd heard, I had no idea. Didn't understand that. He said, speak 3 times as loud. And I thought, oh, I can't do that. People will hear me. He said, good. Start speaking louder. Start to throw in an odd pause. Start to do things differently to how you've spoken. This isn't going to change overnight. This is not going to change overnight. But in time, it can change. And I cannot tell you how much my speech has changed, how much speaking experiences has changed. I enjoy them a lot more. I feel as though I deserve to be there, which I don't think people who stammer always do. And I'm not fearful anymore. They are big things. And John, I spoke to every day for a year and a half. I still email him now, and he's that guy has been so big for me, so big. And the mad thing is that when I'd improved or I was improving, I was at groups and I told him, right, there's a guy online who will speak to you for free, and what he tells you could change your life, and no one asked him. And I will never ever understand that. He's there and he'll speak to you all the time, and he could change your life, and people don't try. And I think, dear me, what an opportunity. So John has been the most important person in my whole life. I will say that, and my wife who's upstairs. I shouldn't say John first, but John and my wife as well. Yes, exactly, exactly. Yeah, but
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
John,
So, do you happen to know the the uh, the title of his 800-page book?
redefining stuttering. I always find that word hard. Redefining stuttering, and it's online and it's free as well. It's free.
Okay, awesome, awesome,
Free.
awesome, awesome. Okay, Luke. Well, we have been talking for over an hour. It has truly been an honor, sir. Truly,
And you as
I
well.
mean, and so, um, in my heart of hearts, I feel that I am all blessed to have a platform, i.e.,
Yeah, yeah,
a podcast to speak to amazing people from all over the world, just like you, and talk about, you know, uh, our, um, our history, our adversity, but most importantly, to talk about all of our triumphs. Because what I tell everybody, that people who have a stutter, people who have a stammer, we are amazing. We are courageous, we are
yeah.
creative, and we are 100% resourceful. If you knock us down, guess what? I'm getting back up. I'm getting back up because I know that I am awesome. And you, Luke, you are hashtag awesome. And so, I mean, I want to thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, now, so I want, and so I want to, tell you, Luke, that this a podcast is in 121 countries on 6 continents. So I have
All right.
amazing people from all over the world who hear this podcast, and they may want to reach out to you. What would be the, best way to have that handled?
I would say over email. So my email address is Critchley1, LukeCritchley1 at gmail.com. Please do email me because I want to help anyone I can.
Thank you for that. I will have that in the podcast, notes. Um, and so that way, anyone from all over the world, Luke, all over the
Yeah,
world,
yeah,
that they will have
yeah.
access, and they will email you because you are hashtag awesome, Luke. I mean, I just gotta tell you, just sir, uh, one more time, it has been a huge honor. You now have a friend in in Texas, Luke. You have a buddy in Texas. And so, if you want a cowboy hat or a horse or a pair of boots, I will put it in the mail over, to the UK. And so, thank you for an awesome uh, a conversation, sir.
And you as well. And you as well. I've enjoyed it.
Thank you very much. I hope you have a great night. You take care and be well and stay safe.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Thank you so much.